They are telling our followers that I've started a live video. How about that? And it always takes so long. Why does it take so long? Oh, there's Ashley. Hello, Ashley. And there we go. Shikarita joined. Welcome. Dr. Russ Romano joined. Welcome. No problem, Ashley. Fee, hey Fee, welcome. There's Ashley again. I'm waving to everybody. So, I'm great. I am great. Hey, Nan, welcome. Hey, Michelle, welcome. This is a session that I've wanted to do for quite a while. It was one of the more popular sessions when I had my craft blog. I'm kind of, hello, Fabienne, welcome. Kind of excited to be sharing this with you. It's an old throwback to when I was doing custom stationery for brides. Hey Frank, welcome. I'm good. How are you, Nan? So if you see me licking my teeth because I just finished eating some Cheetos in honor of Frank's birthday. So yeah, so if I have orange teeth, I do have orange teeth. That's why. So I already had my donuts this morning, and now I'm having my Cheetos. So it is a continuation of the Frank Roche weekend. So, yeah, so I won't smile for the camera too much more. So as I was saying, this was a popular topic when I had my craft blog, and I had forgotten about it, and I still have all these Cheetos birthday cake, absolutely. Uh, have all these um, wax seals and stamps, and I'm like, I still have all that stuff, and so I'm going to share with you. Um, there you go, Frank. Fee celebrating Frank Roche weekend as well. She's eating Whatsits, which is the UK alternative to Cheetos. So you're all in our thoughts this weekend, Frank Roche. Happy 75th birthday, and so many more years to come. So he's not really 75. I'm just teasing. I'm just being silly. But people say they like me being silly, so I'm being silly. So we are going to go through the basics of the wax seals uh, process, and then we will go. Kubla Constance, welcome. Then we'll go into the next level, uh, which is uh, uh, which is a advanced lessons, which are advanced lessons in um, wax seals. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to share. Peace, Love, and Postcards has joined. Welcome. I am going to turn the camera to my station so you can see all the things that I have assembled for you. And I do have a caveat, and I do have an apology. I could not find not my heat gun, my glue gun. And so I'll show you why that's important in a second. I have one, but it's the wrong size for the uh, wax that I have. So we're not going to be able to do that, but I will show you what that looks like. Um, and so let me turn the camera around and point you towards my station, and we'll start talking. First thing, supplies. So now you can see out my window. There you go, that's out my window. And now you're going to see my station. And these are some of the supplies that we're going to be using today. And then I need to get a piece of wax paper. So excuse the noise while I reach behind me. That was my chair scooting on the ground, by the way. something that Frank tells me that I should never do when I'm doing podcast taping. But yeah, so. Oh, Frank, while I'm here, look what I found, Frank. I was supposed to send those to you to go with your, hey, Susie Farnsworth, welcome, to go with your pen. So I have another mailing to you. So these are for you, Frank, if you want the cartridges that goes with your pen. Sorry about that. And I think I may even have blue ones. So sorry about that. But so there we go. And it's amazing things you find when you're looking for something else. Um, oh, you have it already? Of course you do. So, okay, so let's talk about my setup here. Um, so, first of all, you are going to need stamps. So, these are from the company, most of mine are from the company Get Marked. They have a Etsy shop, so that's where I got most of these. Hey, Justin. Hey, Bernard, welcome. So that's where I got most of my stamps. They have these wooden handles, and the heads screw off. So they come like that. I have asked them to just send the heads, but they won't do it. And so I have a surplus of all these handles. And at times it comes handy when you're doing a whole bunch of things. So those are the ones that I've gotten. You can also buy them in sets. This was one. This has an interchangeable bevel that you can put different heads in that way. So there's that one. As you can see, a lot of my stamps are going to be Victorian or love themed. Uh, so there we go. There's that. Um, and I'm going to share this stamp with you. This is a special stamp that Get Marked, I'm sorry, made especially for me, and I'll explain it to you later in the advanced section of the demonstration. And then the thing to keep in mind is this was a store-bought one. This came from Paper Source. Paper Source also has a set that you can buy, and you can see it's a smaller size head. So that's what you want to keep in mind is the size of the head. Make sure it fits in the handle, because some of these will only fit certain sizes. And then you can go into some Mill 22 joined. Welcome. Then you can go and I found this in a thrift shop, um, and that's just the letter A. I just liked it because of the fleur-de-lis and because it's one of the few square ones that I have. Um, and then this was one that I found in an antique shop. This is a reproduction, but it has the letter R on it, and I have a lot of the R's as well. So those the stamps. You are going to need a heat source. So there are three types of wax that are out there, and I'm going to show those to you in a minute. I love the fleur-de-lis. It's so simple but so refined and elegant, and I really do love it. Uh, I know what you meant, Ashley. Don't worry about it. So you're going to need a heat source. Rather that be a candle, you can also use a glue gun for glue stick wax seals. And then you can also use a melting tray. And so this is a little specific, but this is a melting pot. And you can set the temperature. As you can see, the wax is melting here. I need to set this up a little bit higher. Um, and then what you do is you pour this into a spoon. And so if you're doing a lot of them, and when I was in the bridal industry, I was doing a lot of these. So I would use this melting pot. And you can use this for a variety of other things, like you can melt glue in here and then dip things in if you're doing a whole lot of thing. So what I'll do is I will heat this up and pour it into here. So we're going to be demonstrating red sealing wax today, even though it does come in a variety of different colors. So if you're going to melt your own, you will need a spoon. I know this looks like a crack spoon or a heroin spoon or whatever that is, but this is a wax spoon. And so you would put your wax in here, you would heat it over your candle. Manu knocking welcome. And so that's how you would heat the wax. And so I'm going to show you a variety of things first. First thing we're going to look at is wax. There are three ways for you to get wax. And that's a different melting pot of New York City, Ashley. Would not do fondue out of that. Definitely not do fondue. Um, so there are a variety of different waxes. You can get waxes in a glue stick like this, that you would need a glue gun. These work with either high or low heat glue guns. The glue gun that I have is uh, a mix so that you can put a little, use it for either high or low wax heat. So this is a glue stick. A lot of people like this particular method because you just squeeze the handle, the glue comes out, and then you just press, and it's always hot. So you always have a ready source of wax. So a lot of people like that. This is the kind that they sell at the Paper Source. There's also another one that is a candle base that has a wick in it. I don't care for those because sometimes when the wick uh, is lit, it causes this carbon to transfer into the wax. And so the Mute Travel guys have joined. Welcome. So what you do is you would light it, and then you would heat the wax, and you would let the wax drip on the area that you want, and then you would stamp it. So I don't use that particular type. I don't care for it. There are also wax pellets that you can use, or wax nibs, as sometimes they're called. And what you would do is you just put a couple of pellets or nibs in your container, and then you heat that. The difficulty I have with that is trying to determine how much that you need to get the seal that you want. And then there are these bars that you can purchase. And as you can see, is I've used partial one of this one. This is one of my favorites. This is Uni 2000, and you can see there. And the nice thing about this one and this one, this is H. Herbin. This company has been in existence for over 100 years, and it's a company in France. They debuted in 1670, according to this. So they know what they're doing. And so the things that are beneficial about these two brands of wax is that they are very flexible. So you want a flexible wax when you're sealing envelopes or using them on envelopes, so that when it gets bent, it doesn't crack, because that's what you don't want to happen. You don't want it to crack. So that is the benefit of using flexible wax. So those are the things that I use. Kay Charlton, welcome. And so that those are the basics. So the wax that I have in here is the Uni 2000 wax that is melting now. And there are a variety of different additives that you can do, and I'll show you how you can do some special things. So the other thing I have on my station is I have a knife so that I can easily cut the bars if I'm going to do the individual wax like this, and I'll show you how to do that. And then I also have a sponge. It's a wet sponge, especially if you're using the glue gun. And I think my glue gun, believe it or not, is at Paper Source, because Janet's here. Welcome, Janet. And so because you're working with hot things, it's best to have a sponge to either cool off your spoon, or if you get wax on you, easily have something to cool that off instantly. So that's why I have a sponge and a little saucer. So those are all the accoutrements that I have. I also have some Pearlax. This is going to give a little sheen to the wax. This is an additive. Also going to show you how you can use ink pads to color your stamp. So let's get going. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat here, and this is what I tell people to do all the time, and that get a piece of waxed paper to practice on. So you can go directly to the envelope or whatever it is that you are putting a seal on. Hey Pam, welcome. Um, but what you can do is you can practice on wax paper, let it set, and then you can peel off the wax paper and then put adhesive on the back of it and use it as a wax seal as if you had done it to the envelope directly. And they also sell adhesive backed pre-wax seals. So you can buy those as well. So what I'm going to do is hopefully in this humid area, light. I was making sure, I was hoping my matches were going to light. There we go. And then I also take this and put it on the saucer. So if for some reason I have a warmed match, I don't want it to go into the trash. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you how, maybe, there it is, how to take a piece from the bar and heat it over the candle. Okay, and so what you can do is you can heat your knife a little bit and it should go a little bit better through the wax. So there you go. And then you are just going to put this in the spoon, and then it takes a while sometimes. So, and I have another little tool that I don't see, but I don't know where it went. It's best to have something to stir your wax with as it is melting. I usually have a paper clip, and it's probably somewhere here, I just don't see it, but that you can stir your wax in to dilute it as it is melting. And unfortunately, this is the patience part of the process. This can take a while, and so you can meditate, you can do your ohms or whatever it is that you want to do. So how about while we're waiting for this to melt, are there any questions about anything so far? Okay. So let me show you some of the other things that we're going to do. Hey Phil, welcome. This is a just to make it. This is a wax seal spoon. You can get it anybody that sells wax seal supplies. You can get these spoons. So so yeah, Ashley, that's and actually this is the one from Paper Source. Actually, uh, there you go. Get my hand. Is that upside down? It is. Um, Try to put my hand over the open flame, mind you. So yeah, so these are what they look like, and you just want to make sure that you read the label, that you buy the right kind of wax for what you're doing. So that's the big thing. Hello, Charlton. Welcome. Oh, there it is. So this is what I was looking for. This is my paper clip that I have just opened up the end, and so let me switch hands. And so when you start seeing it melt, you can actually move this around so that the solid part can go to the bottom and it will help uh, it melt quicker. Paper Source is doing rather well. If you had the chance to buy stock, you should have. Okay, that's not taking as long. I get impatient, but this is going rather. And the idea is you don't want to put the spoon directly over the flame because you can put out the flame, which I've done many a time. So this is almost set. Okay. There's still some lumps in there, and that's what I'm trying to work out because you don't want that to fall onto your. Hey Heidi, welcome. Okay, so we are ready here. So you can see it's liquid or molten, as I like to say. So, and my bar in my melting pot has already melted, so this is going to go a little bit quicker for that. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to move this to the side, and then let's not do anything frozen. Let's do Ashley's Fleur de Lis. Okay, and it's a small stamp, so you don't need as much, and so that's going to be actually a good demo. So what I'm going to do is just pour out a little, right, like that. And then you're going to just take your stamp. You want to make sure that the orientation is right, especially if you're doing it directly on your envelope. And so there we go. And that's all you have to do. That is all there is to to wax seals. Hey, Giddy, welcome. So, and then it will release when it's ready. That's the beauty of this. And so you can just wiggle it, and it doesn't take a whole long time. It's not ready, maybe because it's the humidity here as well. But you can wiggle it back and forth, and I'll let you know when it's ready. And there we go. So, Ashley, that is your Fleur de Lis. Can you see it, or do you need me to raise it up to the camera? And so, and a lot of this is deciding how much of a ridge that you want. But I'm trying to hold the spoons. But there is your wax seal. So there we go. Can you see that? So there we go. So that is your wax seal. So the idea is you can determine how much of an area that you want to bleed out. Sometimes if you have your stamp offset, sometimes you'll get a little crescent, and all the wax doesn't go all the way through, which is fine as well. And then so that is that, and so that is the basic. Believe it or not, that's the whole process. It really isn't that scary to do. Um, these are all by a company called Get Marked. These are they have an Etsy store. These are these the ones you're talking about, Heidi? Hey Jen, welcome. One of these I got at a thrift store, and one of them got at an antique store. But you can find these old-fashioned wax seals in any number of places. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that, as you can see, I have a little gold left in this particular spoon application. So I had more wax than I needed, especially since I was using a small stamp. So I can do a variety of different things. I can, these are mica powders. They're called Pearl-Ex powders. Um, we can add some iridescence to this. Of course, the one that I want isn't open. And so, hey, Jillian, welcome. And so, this is my spoon. Okay, this is the Pearl-Ex, the mica powders. You don't, like I said, you don't need a whole bunch. That's going to be way too much. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reheat this so that I can incorporate. The other thing I could have done is I could have used some of this red wax that is melting to my left in my pot. Um, and the one thing you want to be careful about with this Pearl-Ex is one, it's a mica powder. So you don't want to breathe it in because you don't want that in your lungs, first of all. So don't sneeze or don't do any of that stuff. Two, it's worse than glitter in that it gets everywhere. So what we're going to do is, so can you see that? Yeah, okay, you can. Okay, so I am mixing this. And the thing I don't have at hand that I'll get in just a second with your indulgence is paper towels. Um, so this is a lot easier to clean out these spoons when the wax is still molten. So I'm going to put this to the side, and you can see how it glitters a little bit, how that mica powder glitters. And so what I'm going to do is, I don't want to use that one yet. Uh, do I have enough? So let's see how much. Let's just go for it. Okay, and I'll use this for demonstration purposes. Okay, and so I'm going to use one of the big stamps, and this should just be enough to cover, and it does. Good. So I'll be back in just a second. Let me get a paper towel real quick. And for those of you who watched the art throwdown, I was going into the tunnel. And then what I'm going to do is I still have some of this, and I hate wasting that. So what I'm going to do is show you a marbling technique um, with um, with this wax. And so I still have some remnants. So what I can do is I'm going to still let that set. I'm going to take, so here's the molten wax in my melting pot. So I'm just going to tip, maybe, if it's going to come, it will, tip some of this red wax into this spoon. And it takes a little while because the wax is traveling a big distance to get to the spout of the melting pot. And see, this is what I like about using that melting pot is you can actually measure out how much wax that you want. And then what I'm going to do is take my paper clip and stir it together and put this back over the heat. got too many things going here, so let me get this out of the way and just put this so that you can see what I'm doing. Um, so I didn't mean to be off camera there. Um, and I could probably lift off that stamp. Um, and so this is what this is going to do. It's going to give you a marbled effect. So let me lift this off. So that is that. And so before I pour this, let me show this to you up close. See, and you can see some of that sheen um, in that stamp through the mica powder. Okay, so there's that one. So let's get this one, and oh, let's use one of these. Let's use this Victorian one. And this is what frustrates me with this. You would think that you would stamp it this way, but actually, it's sideways. So I'm going to do that, and let's pour that down here so we're still central. And I should have kept the spoon over the heat a little bit longer, but maybe I'll be able to get away with it, but let's see. So let's do this, let's do this. Now this one is probably won't cover the entire thing. Oh, maybe it will. And so while this is still hot, I'm going to heat the spoon up a little bit more. So Nan, which is the stamp that you love? The love stamp, the Indiana stamp? I forget his first name. Something Bob Indiana. Um, and so it's just really nicer to be able to start with a clean spoon. So now what I want to do is, so I've used these here, and I want to show you something. I don't want to use, I'm so over frozen. I don't want to use that. Let me show this to you while we're waiting. So this is the case that I use to keep all of the stamp heads, right? So I just take them off the handle because they're screw ends, and so I just keep those there. And then what I want to do is to show you how you can add some interest to your wax seals. And so let's reveal this one and see how it turned out. There we go. And so you can see how the marble, so you have the red and gold, and then you have that little mica from the little sheen from the mica powders as well. So I know this is hard to see with the lighting that I have, but hopefully you get the idea. So that is that. And now I'm going to show you some advanced things that you can do. So first of all, but for example, I have this. This is the one that I showed on Instagram. This is the Hogwarts seal. I did a Harry Potter themed birthday party for a 15-year-old. And so they all got letters from Hogwarts that were wax sealed with the Hogwarts seal. So that's great. So there's that one, and there's all kinds of. I have one. This is when I was doing New York things. This is the New York City skyline, which is fun. And I think I'm going to do this one because I can illustrate something. Let me get. Oh, I got something I need to reach for. Because I'm going to do three more demonstrations if we have time. And And what I'll do is I will do a joint demonstration on this next one. So let me reach over here and get scissors. It's funny that you mentioned, Janet. I have a complete sample book of my wax seals, um, and so that I can take my sample book to um, to different clients and show them what I have available, or to give them ideas of what to do, or what is possible, I should say. Um, so so I'm going to just change out the handle. The nice thing about all these um, and they're not paying me. It's just the products that I have, and then they have actually customed some products for me. And so if I have a wedding to do, I will go to them and they'll custom something for me. So, and they also do emboss seals, so you can also get that from them. So I'm going to use this New York one just to demonstrate two different things. So, yes, so let's get wax first. And maybe it's taking its time. Okay, let me turn this up a little bit and let me put some more wax in so that, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to mix some waxes for you. Um, and I recommend that if you're going to mix wax, mix wax from the same company. So it's not, they're not always complementary to each other. So let me see. So right now I'm mixing the red and the gold, and just waiting for this to melt down a little bit so that it becomes a little bit more liquid. Welcome, Happy Mail. Welcome. Okay. So I have a spoon worthy. Let me get this back in place. I'm just going to heat this up over candle a little bit. Pardon my reach. Oh, and of course what did I tell you not to do? Not to put your spoon over the fire because it puts the fire out. So let me just set this down just a second. Let me start my fire again. Okay, that's not going to work. So let me just get another candle. And of course, it's not in the box that I have with me. Okay, so I'm going to let that candle solidify a little bit. Okay, so we are back to at some point, please talk about uses for each seals other than in mail, and also about extra postage sometimes required. See, now that's the interesting thing. Some people say that extra postage isn't required. Some people say that it is. I've been told that if you have a wax seal, that it bumps it up to the next level of postage. So say if you have a forever stamp, hello, Bamika, welcome. If you have a forever stamp, you would need the extra 15 cents. But some people have sent mail through without a problem whatsoever. So I don't know the real answer to that, but yeah. So what I would do is I would take one to the post office and ask them how much it would cost to mail it. So I'm going to do a couple things. I am going to prepare a couple of things first. So I'm going to take a gold stamp pad, right? And this is gold metallic ink. I'm going to take the seal that we are going to be using. And then, hey Nick, welcome. I am going to ink the seal first, okay? Then I'm going to pour my wax. Nope, not yet. I'm going to do two things at one time, hopefully. So I'm going to take a ribbon, pour my wax. Careful not to get it on yourself. Okay, there we go. That was almost a disaster. And then you're going to take the stamp, make sure that it's right side up, and you're going to put it in. So this is going to mimic the old documents that were sealed with, ribbon, and where you have the old monarch who takes off his ring and turns it into a wax seal kind of thing. That's what the original purpose of a signet ring was, from what I've been told, is that it was a wax seal. Okay, so I'm going to let that set. So what should happen is that the background, the debossed area of the seal, should be whatever color we stamped it with. So that's what that is. No, it's still not solid. Okay. So I'm going to let that set. The next thing I want to do is I want to do another one, and then, so let me get some more wax here. And then for this one, I want to do something that is, oh, maybe, oh, too bad Patty's not here. So let me, hey Carrie, welcome. Okay, so it's done that one. Let me move this carefully over. Let's move this over. Let's move everything over so you can see. So many things to do. So we're gonna do that, and okay, so I'll do this first. So we're gonna pour this out. This is gonna be a much more marbled effect because we have the red and the gold melted together, like so. Put that down for a second, and then let's do this one. We'll do that, and then let me choose one of, yeah, let's do that one. That should, so this one, the one with the ribbon, and I'll show it to you up close when I get the chance. So you can see that one here. So you can see the background has been, you know what, I'm going to take this off and just drop this down. So you can see the background has the gold on it, right? And then that is sealed over the ribbon, so you get that document feel with the wax seal. So there's that one. And then actually all I do is I reheat the spoon so that the wax is molten, and then I just simply take a paper towel and wipe it out. Now, as you can see in this spoon, there's still some wax in there, so I'm going to use it once again, but I'm going to do something special this time. Um, so I'm going to use the same pot. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, let me put that down for a second, because I need to swap out, oh, is it over here? Yeah, swap out this one. Let's get this one back. I'm usually not very good at multitasking, so I'm kind of happy the way this is all turning out. Um, so the other thing that you can do is, and actually this relates back to your question, is that what are some of the other purposes that you can do? Is that you can seal little gifts and envelopes that you hand deliver. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this baby's breath, right? I'm going to pour wax over it, like so. Okay, turn that, and then I'm going to take this one that is flat, right? That has no image on it, and then just press that in. Okay, and so this is still, oh, there we go. This is still a little molten, so what I'm going to do is just simply Heidi, so the answer to that is yes. One of the reasons why I'm doing this on wax paper is so that I can remove them and then reuse them rather than put them directly on uh, letters or paper. But yes, that is one of the reasons why I'm doing it on here, so that I can reuse them. But normally what I do is just put them directly um, uh, on the item that I'm sending. Um, so, um, so Carrie, you're absolutely right. The trick is to leave the seal on until it dries. It will tell you when it's ready. So, one of the things I wanted to show you is that this one, let me just put this away. Okay. So this one, we inked the back to get a solid background of the color. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some rub and buff. Just, is it on here? No, it's not. Let me get this opened. And just take a little bit. Let me do it on my right finger. Whoops. Okay. For some reason it's not solid, but okay. Let's take a little bit, and then what you can do is you can maybe this is just old product, but let's see what happens. It's usually solid, but you'll get the effect. So what you can do is that you can then highlight you can then highlight the image that way. Um, so there's some of this is better than other. Let me see if I can find one. Maybe this is what I should have used. Um, yeah. So this is, you can see this is more solid. These are metallic rub-ons. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to illustrate it. Let me just illustrate on this one because it's a solid. And you just rub your finger over it, and the highlights become colored. So so there's that one. So let me wipe this up. Get that out of the way. And so the one that I have left that you haven't seen is the Fleur de Lis. I'm not the Fleur de Lis, the um, Baby's Breath. And so here are our samples that I was going to show you. We got through all the techniques that I wanted to get to today. Some of them are a little bit more effective than the others, but you can still see the utility. So here is the Baby's Breath with the marbled effect. And this is just a flat plate, so there's no image on it. Then we have the New York plate with ribbon. And once again, that one was stamped on metallic stamp pad and then pressed into the ink. Then you have the original Fleur de Lis. Whoops. Okay, autofocus, don't mess me up now. So there is the one with the rub-on with the mica powders in it. There is the Love stamp. And this one had leftover mica powders in it. And then this one is the marble with the rub-on that didn't work. I think that product was just old. It was still in its tube. But so those are the wax seal demonstrations. So are there any questions? We have about 5 minutes left. Is there anything else you want me to demonstrate or to show you? And here's the cleaned out spoon. Once again, all I did was take a paper towel while the wax was still hot and just wiped it out. It's always nice to start with a clean spoon, because if you don't wipe it out when you're done, then you have to do it the next time around. So that's that. These were the metallic rub-ons. They come in all different variety of colors. The hot pot. This is the hot pot. So still a lot of glue, a lot of wax left in here. This will have to be scraped and then solidified, and I can use it again. And the nice thing I like about this is that it comes with a lid. So if you're working over time, it keeps things out of your wax as it's melted. So, and it's the nice thing about this too is you have a different settings for heat. There we go, different settings for heat, so you can keep things melted at different levels. So that helps as well. So I do like. My favorite is the melting pot, but I do prefer the wax, the candle style, than the wax seal with a candle. So I'd much rather melt it in a spoon because you don't get that carbon that can happen if you use a wax stick with a wick. So that's why I prefer to use this. And plus you can gauge how much wax that you need. So that's why I prefer that. But if that's all you can get, use it. Just be very, very careful that when you tip the candle, so to speak, that none of the carbon from the wick mixes in with the wax as you're dropping it in place. Yeah. So, and they even have these little pots. These little melting pots. They're about that big. You put a candle underneath it, and the top part is a copper little uh, pot that you can melt wax in as well. So if you want to do that, you can get that as well. I don't like the wick ones at all. I'm with you on that. Um, any other questions? Okay, well, wax pellets are easy too, absolutely. I don't have them. The difficulty with wax pellets is that you tend to have to buy so many of them. But the nice thing about wax pellets is it's easy to mix colors to get the colors that you want. So that's one of the things that is beneficial for wax pellets. So I definitely recommend wax pellets as well. You can cut off the wax, a piece of the wax wick, and then take the wick out. You certainly can do that. And then let me just show you how this works. I almost was deficient. So all you do is, because this is flexible wax, you should be able to, my watch does not work for me, just peel these off the back. Uh, Sometimes the wax paper will come, there'll be a part of it, but um, you can use adhesive and use that. And you can see how flexible this is. Okay, so that is, oh, here's one. Yeah. So that is the wax seal demonstration. Um, I haven't tried parchment paper, but maybe I'll try that. But yeah, I mean, it still comes off, and you can still put glue on it, and like I said, you can see how flexible these are, so they would go through the mail really, really quite well. Uh, so I would just use whatever your favorite adhesive you have. You can use a hot glue gun. You can use stronger. I would use stronger adhesive. You can just use regular glue if you want. Um, but yeah, any adhesive should work. Um, yeah, so there you go. So that is almost all the time we have for today. I thank you for being here. I know you have a lot of options of places to be on the weekends, and I appreciate you spending your Sunday with me, even if just for an hour. Um, don't forget, on Monday through Friday, Allison and I host the Art Throwdown, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. We also have Frank's The Postcards podcast. Will be doing a new episode tomorrow with the creators of Post Crossing. So if you are into Post Crossing postcards, that's definitely going to be worth a listen to tomorrow. So that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you during the week or next Sunday. Good night. Bye-bye.